Hi guys, welcome to my tutorial video on how to get past advanced screens in the dojo. So what I mean by the advanced screens is the one with the fireballs and swords that quite often run enders. So this tutorial is about how to survive. Keep in mind it's not about how to go as fast as you can, but more about how to survive. So it's about getting better at the dojo as many lums as you can challenge, to be specific. Okay, so what we have here is quite simple. You've just got to collect the lums while you're avoiding the swords. Try to do this one quite quickly, but that should be quite easy because as you can see exactly where the next two lums are. And if you are too slow, the swords will they will get you, because the only place they will really get destroyed is that platform in the middle. But if you just generally follow a consistent route, you should find this quite an easy one. So let's just see that once more at full speed. So you probably get the idea here. It's just do pretty much this basically. So this one's a little bit more tricky because as you can see the lums are moving, so you can't see where the second next one is as you could, but as with the last one you've just got to find the right pattern for you. So right here I go over that sword so that I can go under the next one and get that lum. So here's the same clip at full speed. Okay, what we're looking at here is much more difficult than the last two. It's actually, for me, the most difficult screen in the dojo, and you really have to figure out where you need to go for this one. So I'm going to talk you through my way around it. So start off with the jump and kick to get yourself hovering and lure that sword into that wall. And then you want to go for that lum in there, and you want to get out because it is a little bit dangerous in there. However, you don't want to get out too quickly because you also want to lure that sword that's in the bottom left in the screenshot into that wall. And if you go behind that wall, get the lum, and you don't go up high enough and you get out too quickly, you will fail to do that, which could result in some danger a little bit later. So I like to go over that sword, drop for that lum, and then go directly up, fly in between those two swords while luring that sword in the bottom right. Usually isn't too much of a problem. Now as you can see from where the next two lums are, you're going to have to go behind that wall on the left, which could be made a little bit difficult by the sword that's just come out of the bottom left. So you want to make sure you have enough room to get past, which is why in a moment I do a little turnaround. However, sometimes an extra sword comes out of the top for reasons I'm not quite sure, to be honest, so do be a bit careful of that as well. So let's have a look at that in full speed. As always, if you do make a bit of a mistake in this, like you miss a lum, maybe it was that one there, what you want to do is never stop, just keep following the same route that you usually take. It doesn't have to be the same as mine, but I think it is a good idea. And then you should be able to get away from the lums. I've done many good get outs on this obstacle before. So never stop, just keep going if you make a mistake. Okay, this obstacle is a lot easier. All you want to do is just walk off the platform, don't run or charge or whatever, otherwise you'll probably die, but that's not a good idea. Basically all you do is you walk off the platform, do one kick, do one more kick, and then do a mini hover, not hit the spikes, and then one last kick. Okay, so just looking at that, what would you do there? Well, I have seen people run or charge for the lums, but no, that's not the way to do it, because otherwise you're not in control and you will probably die, which is exactly what this tutorial is about how not to do. So What you want to do is you want to do a jump and then instantly kick, just so that you're hovering, you're in the air and in control and can quite easily avoid the fireballs. So you want to go for the first two straight away, and just pause for a moment there, move the next one, and again just pause, and then you can go for the last two. So let's just see that again at full speed. And, pause, pause, and go. Very simple. Okay, so what you want to do here is you want to jump to the right. Obviously don't do it too early, otherwise you will hit fireballs, which you don't want to do. Just tread the air like I am, and as soon as the thing, I don't know what it's called, starts to make its way back left, that is when you want to go in. As you can see, I've already turned round as I'm ready to do so. And also, before you do the ground pound, you may just want to move right a little bit and also drop down a bit, just to make it easier. So let's just see it again at full speed after he's done the ground pound. Now, if you're playing as a glow box or a princess, you don't actually have to avoid all the fireballs. You can just go straight in for that plum. You charge off the platform and you kick. There's no fireballs in this particular screen, but it wouldn't make any difference even if there were. So obviously it's much easier, and you get 4 extra lums. I used to play as Rayman, and most of the video footage here is actually quite old because this video is actually re-uploaded. Now I play as a princess because otherwise getting lums is just too slow. So here is what to do. Oh, this one's difficult. So what you want to do here is you just want to ledge grab that bit. Don't actually go up it, just make your character, if it's Rayman, look like a really cool monkey dressed in blue. In order to achieve something like that, what you're going to do is you've got to jump up there in the first place, obviously. But once you're up there, don't push right or anywhere. Just freeze with your arrow keys or left. So when it's safe to do so, jump and then kick to stop yourself falling, and then drop down. So what you want to do from here, obviously, is to bounce off the wall onto the platform that is just on the right. However, when you do that, there is the risk that you will hit the fireballs that are just above. So you want to hover down a little bit so that you bounce off the brown thing and no higher. Now from here, what you want to do is charge off of that platform, don't jump, and if done correctly you should find yourself sliding from the side of the wall that is right there. So same rule applies. You don't want to be too high when you bounce off of the wall. I may have actually been a little bit too high there, but the reason for that is because you don't want to bounce off the side of the platform that is just above you, because that has happened before. So the way to end this difficult run is to charge off of that platform and do a soft jump, and you'll be right on the walls. You don't need to ledge grab or anything, and then just jump up for the last lum. So like this. So here it is at full speed. And my word, it looks faster, and you've been watching in slow motion. Okay, so start this screen off with a charge or a double charge to the end, that's up to you, and then jump, and at the top of your jump you should be just a little bit higher than the fireball, which I have managed to achieve quite well. And when you jump for that chain, don't do a soft jump because I've died like that before, do high jumps. So as you can see here, I've dropped onto the platform just for a bit of extra safety. You don't have to do that, that is optional. However, the main reason I've actually done that is because there is a bit of an issue with that chain that I haven't quite figured out, where sometimes you get very good momentum from it and other times you get rubbish, and I'm not really sure why. So unfortunately in this particular clip it was pretty bad, which is why I had to drop, whereas if it had been good I might not have needed to. And then to get those last two alums, when it's safe, do a ground pound. So here's the same clip at full speed. Now what I'd like to show you is an alternative method, which is for those of you who maybe like to get past the screens faster or like to get more lums. You can just bounce straight off that wall if you double charge like this. And I've recently started doing this as well. So what could make that method a little bit more risky is the chain issue which I was talking about earlier. So if you're having the same issue with me, then what I would suggest you do is you get off that chain quite quickly and do your kick early like this, and this was pretty close as you can see. So what we have here is quite easy. All you want to do is run off the platform, don't jump. And then you get the lums while being a bit careful of the fireballs. So right here, don't take too many risks. I think you pretty much get it, so let's just move on. So start off here just by running into the wall, and then you do a jump, and again when you're at the top of the jump, make sure you're just a little bit higher than the fireball that's right next to you. But what you also want to make sure of is that the one above is far enough away from the one that you're right next to, which, as you can see, I've managed very well because we can't even see it. However, when I bounce onto the other wall, you will see it is actually quite close. And one more thing, the wall that I'm on now, do a soft jump off. So from here, what I want to do is land somewhere in between those two fireballs, possibly be a little bit closer to the one that's closer to the wall, so further away from the one coming towards you, and then after that you want to jump for the wall that has the lum and then bounce off the chain. The fireballs going up, they're never a problem. So the one thing I must say about this one is don't jump too early, otherwise you won't get a very good jump and you won't go very far. So just be a little bit later and just make sure that you don't jump before you land. But obviously at the same time, if you're too late, you'll hit the fireballs, so timing is important. Do a kick if you need to stop yourself falling too much. So let's have another look at that in full speed. So here we are at the seesaw obstacle, and I know that a lot of you guys don't like this one. However, I think if you can figure out what you're doing here, what you need to do, it's actually not the most difficult screen at all. I actually find this one a fairly easy one, so I'm going to talk you through my way. So start off with a charge, don't bounce off that wall, climb up it, run to the end of the platform and then jump off. Do a charge, so climb up that wall and run to the end, but this time don't jump off. And right where I am, I actually like to stand still for about half a second or so, because it will send the other side of the seesaw up, making it easier to climb onto the other wall. So one thing I haven't actually told you yet is that if you look right at the end of the two platforms, you'll notice there are actually small holes that are possible to fall through, so try to avoid doing that. But from here you want to get the num that is just above that sword, and that should be quite easy. You should be able to just fly towards it. Watch this. And when you go for it and you jump, make sure that the sword that is coming from the top is about halfway between where it started and the seesaw. If you do it earlier than that, the swords will be in more difficult places to avoid. So, a look at full speed. So, just looking at this, what do you need to do? Well, it's quite simple. You don't do any hard jumps, otherwise you'll hit the spikes and you kick all the lumps. So, I think as simple as that sounds, and as simple as it is, there's not really a lot of doubt of what you need to do here. It is actually a pretty horrible obstacle when you're a bit nervous. So, as it's here, I'll just show me getting past it. Unfortunately, I didn't actually do a great job here because I did miss one lum. So if you can not miss any lums, then that's even better. Now, I do apologise if this video has been a bit long. It has been longer than I was expecting it to be. We've only got one more obstacle that I want to look at. But it's dead easy, you ground pound and you hover. Well done you, 30 cheap lums were yours. So, thank you for watching my video. Again, I apologise if it was a little bit long. I didn't expect it to be this long, but at the same time, I hope I helped somebody because I did put quite a lot of work into this. So, if you did like this, then it would be nice of you to like and comment and subscribe and all of that. So, good luck with this challenge, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.